folks, this is Bardic Dragoon. Welcome to a brand new Let's Play. This time around we are playing Tobe's Vertical Adventure, a platformer developed by Secret Base, originally released on the Xbox Live Indie Marketplace back in 2010 with a PC version following a little over a year later. Which the PC version that we're playing, by the way, for a couple of different reasons that I'll probably get into later. But it's a pretty straightforward little platformer adventure. Well, we'll let the story basically explain itself here. By the way, can I just say I like the art style here? By the way, Tobe is the guy sitting there playing video games, and that is Nana. His female sidekick associate, I'm not quite sure. I love that. You're like, you should stop sitting around playing video games all day. Except you were there in the audience. Keep playing. I don't know. It's such a very basic and obvious fourth wall break, but it amuses me nonetheless. But yeah, story's pretty straightforward. Tobe and Nana are off to go find the treasure of King Garuza, I think it said, which basically involves going through different caves. Climbing down to the bottom of them, and go collecting as much treasure as you can along the way. So, like I said, pretty straightforward platform. It actually is a lot of fun. Admittedly, the controls arguably do take a second to get used to, because they're kind of... you might call them stiff. I've seen that's a lot of, like, the user reviews on Steam. Let's say, like, the controls are stiff and awkward, and I wouldn't say necessarily awkward, stiff, maybe. I feel like there's probably a better word for it, but yeah, I have no idea what it is. But yeah, it's pretty basic. You only have, other than your directional inputs here, 3 buttons. Run, jump, and item. Alongside, which of course, pretty self-explanatory. Jump lets you jump, run lets you move faster, and items let you use items. And, items are pretty useful. Not 100% necessary sometimes. Sometimes they are, though. But yeah, in addition to climbing to the bottom of the cave and getting to the big treasure chest, when you do that, the cave starts to collapse. But of course it does, which leaves you having to race your way back to the top of the cave. And yeah, when you're going down the cave, you'll notice there are some slightly different colored blocks, which will end up being destroyed when the cave starts collapsing. And there are occasionally things that you can't get when you're going down through the cave. You have to wait till the cave collapses and then climb back up, or things that are just easier to get to under that. But yeah, the cave collapses, but you saw the rope dangling there. We have to get back up and climb to that to get out of the cave before it collapses, which you'll notice there's now a timer there. That's how long we have. As you probably noticed when they hit that chest, there's a small prompt that comes up, and it actually happens with any treasure chest, where you have to press down to open it. Normal treasure chests, you just need to mash the down button. But the big chest at the bottom, you need to press it once to start, and then again to stop the cursor, and that determines how much time you have to get back to the top, basically giving a bonus of either, 0, not that that's really a bonus per se, but you get a bonus of either nothing, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or if you hit in that little tiny space in the screen there, pretty much perfect timing, you will get a 15-second bonus. If I'm being honest, none of the levels, if you ask me, really require a bonus. So it's all kind of superfluous, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, as you see there, to get through the level, you have to beat it. Basically, you have how much time you use to beat it, how much of the money you grabbed, and then there's a couple of creatures in every level you have to find. and save, because when you're done, the cave collapses, so, you know, if you don't save them, they're all going to die. But yeah, as I said, it's a pretty straightforward little platforming title. You can do stuff like wall runs, wall jumps. It has actually a pretty robust repertoire of moves, considering all things considered. And it makes good use of having you go through the levels, and you have to pretty much, especially if you want to get all of the items, rescue all of the adorable creatures, because they're adorable creatures. You're a heartless monster if you don't want to. Alright. Switches are a thing that exists. This jump can be a bit hard to make sometimes. You gotta hit it just right, so that way you can actually... Pretty much you have to jump off the ground just right, so that way you can... And wow, I really botched. Ow! By the way, you do take fall damage if you fall too far. That's the main advantage of the balloons. Balloons slow your descent, so that way, you know, you don't fall flat on your face and take damage. They also will help you in, like, crossing larger gaps. This stuff. But yeah, that's arguably the more useful, because, oh yeah, as you've seen in a little... Actually, it kind of reminded me of the Sonic TV displays from the classic 2D Sonic games. Which I think they kept those going into the 3D ones, even, but they arguably don't look as good or make as much sense in 3D as they did in 2D, but the little TV monitors that stored power-ups. You have, I guess it's more of a chain than a rope, but yeah, that and balloons. Actually, I think I already said it, but yeah, the chain, as you can see, when you use it on the ground, you throw it straight up, it hits something and drops down a chain that you can climb. Balloons, as I said, will let you glide, helping prevent fall damage, and also working to you know, get you places more quickly. And yeah, as I said, it does have an interesting repertoire mode, but I think that's where probably a lot of people say that the controls are a bit stiff. Oh, come on, really? So yeah, if you take too much damage, you do die. Because, of course you do. It's a video game. What do you expect? Normally, I don't have that to happen too often. Most of my deaths when I play this game tend to be from, like, instant death traps, which you don't see too many of in these early stages. I mean, these are the early stages after all, you know. You're not expected to see a lot of, you know, instant death. By the way, you do get rewarded if you collect, like, as you collect more money or save more creatures, you get stuff like extra health, be able to carry more items, stuff like that. There are some unlocks for the game overall, like if you collect all of the money and save all of the creatures, you actually will get basically a code you can enter onto the developer's site to, like, get a free art book or something like that, I think it is. And I've actually beaten the game. I've even actually gone through to get the or try and get some of the achievements in this, because it actually has some pretty decent achievements. It's not, like, there aren't many of them, admittedly, but what's there makes sense as, like, challenges to the game. Because it's pretty much like, beat the main game. One of the things the PC version introduced over the original Xbox indie game version, or indie marketplace, whatever it's called, is 2 alternate campaigns. One where you get to play as Nana, and another one where you actually can play the game co-op. I've never tried the co-op personally, because I think it's only local co-op, so don't quote me on that. Ow. And not my brightest moment. There. But yeah, and so, like, you get an achievement for beating each of the campaigns. Ha! But you get an achievement for beating each of the campaigns, for collecting all of the money and all of the saving all the animals in each of the levels, which each of the campaigns only change who you're playing as. The levels are all the same either way. And then there are ones for the 2 versions of the single-player campaign, beating the levels within a certain time limit. It's basically a collective time limit for each world. It's actually, those are actually probably the more fun achievements. The other ones are just, the normal, oh, you beat the game, here, have an achievement, whatever, who cares. But the actual achievements here for, like, getting the best time, because basically it's you have to get a great time, like under a certain overall time for each world, as well as collect all the money and all the animals, and save all the animals. Though thankfully, to make things a little bit easier, if you've gone through the levels already, collected all the animals, saved, or collected all the money, saved all the animals, it basically saves that, and all you have to do is work on the time, which is good, because getting some of the animals and things like that can be a bit of a pain in the butt sometimes. At least if you're trying to go through the level quickly. Like this one here. I mean, well, actually this one isn't too bad. It's not like you're going off of the quickest path or anything like that. I think the next one actually has a much better example of where finding all of the animals and the money can actually be detrimental to getting a good time. I'm also not entirely sure how the game calculates the time, to be honest. Like, when does it start counting and when it doesn't. Yay, I've collected enough money I can now hold one more chain rope thingy. That's useful. Alright, that's enough. Casually floating down these guys. Whee! Ow. Why didn't I jump on that thing? What? Okay. Now, arguably, it's easier to do this once the cave has started collapsing, because, well, as you can see, those bricks there will disappear when the cave collapses. That was close. I nearly fell on the spikes. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. By the way, misaiming ropes is a pain in the butt. I mean, like, aiming, it makes sense when you look like where you are and where the rope ends up at. It's not like it's a complete, just aiming doesn't make sense kind of thing, but it can sometimes be a pain in the butt, just how it actually plays out. Okay, and roll. Hey, whoa. Go. Okay, yeah. Can't really get to that yet. Wait for the cave to start collapsing. Good enough. And with the 4th level, which is the final level of each world, there's something else that comes along with the escape segment. Get that bird first. Okay, that's actually one of the cool things this game does. I'm familiar enough with the level layouts that I should know the best route to get through, but honestly, as I said, I was mostly, I decided I was going to do this, working on getting the beat achievements, which I was just trying to find the quickest way out. But yeah, as I said, the 4th world introduces something else, the escape segments. Spikes that will rise up Oh! Actually, yeah. This makes this way. I need that rope. Something I'm planning to do here. Yes, I think I'll need it. No, okay, maybe I don't need that rope. Oh, it is. There we go. Ow! I really should learn to read when those things are going to jump and when they aren't. And yeah. So that's an extra thing that happened in the 4th stage, since that's the last stage of each world, which, of course, means that, no, we've just finished the 1st world. So, let's see what happens now. Yep. Thankfully I would have gotten the achievement, because I think the achievement on this one is like 120 seconds for total escape time. And yay, now I can go back and play those stages anytime I want. That's nice. Also, I've gained an extra life. That's nice too. Oh, the treasure's on another island. Next thing you'll tell me the princess is in another castle. So yeah, each level ends with a little scene like that, which pretty much was, outside of some changes to the background, the same as the intro cutscene. And that leads us into World 2, the Frozen Cavern. But we're gonna take a break here for the moment. Tune in next time, where we'll be picking up in the Frozen Cavern, which has its own tricks. Some of them, thankfully none of them are ice physics, so, you know, there's that. Anyway, until then though, as always, later folks.